brother has two younger sisters. They're all three forced to stay in a small bedroom with one mattress and one small blanket. They were not given enough food to support themselves and were severely punished if they left the bedroom. At night, the girl's big brother would sneak out of the room and take food from the dog's bowl in order for them to have some food to eat. There are many children such as these in need of adoption. If you thought of having a family and are having troubles, you should consider adoption. Today I'm going to tell you about the history of adoption, what adoption is, and why you should adopt. Adoption has been around since biblical times. Adoption is where parents are supplied a parentless child or child with parents incapable of providing for them. Informal adoptions have existed since American colonial times, and most were economically motivated. Farm families were always in need of child labor to help tend to the crops, livestock, and other household chores. When the industrialization era began, there was a massive immigration to major cities by families who were unable to support and care for their children, so the children were often transferred to families who were able to provide better care. Informal adoptions continue to increase, thus the need for more formal process increased as well. Massachusetts began the first formal adoptions in the year of 1851. With this formal process, there were three requirements: judicial approval, consent of the child's birth parents, and providing that the adopting family could sufficiently provide for the child. Today's adoptions can be done one of two different ways. Private adoptions allow prospective parents to locate a birth parent with more ease than adopting agency, and it allows both sets of parents to agree on terms of the adoption. Adoption agencies, on the other hand, often have specific requirements for adopting parents, such as age, number of children, length of marriage, among circumstances. There are many different ways to adopt. If you're thinking of adopting, you should be aware of two basic types of adoptions. In an adoption, open adoption, the adoption still has contract between the biological family as well as the adopting family. In a closed adoption, all identifying info concerning the adopted child is sealed, thus preventing disclosure of any identities of those families included in the adoption. There are many great reasons to adopt. Infertility is at the top of the list. When it comes to these reasons to adoption, it's probably the first reason that many of you thought of. Risk of disease has the second highest influence on adoption. Some couples have serious genetic or medical complications that could even prevent this, making having a natural pregnancy high risk, even life-threatening. The thought of saving a child is the leading reason why people should adopt, and I totally agree with that. The idea of rescuing a child who would otherwise grow up without a supportive and loving family is appealing to many people, as it is to me today. Many of these children are adopted from third world countries, single teenage mothers domestically. There are many people that you're around every day that could have been helped by adoption. I personally have a cousin whose mother was severely injured in a car accident and has since then been unable to care for herself or the children. After being adopted by my grandmother, my cousin has had the opportunity to grow up in a stable household environment where he is encouraged, uplifted. He has been successful academically in school. He has been a great asset to his high school football team, breaking many school records. If you or anyone you know is struggling to conceive a child or is facing unwanted pregnancies, you should talk to them about considering adoption. Although you may brush this off because you never think that adoption would be a part of your future, life is unpredictable and you never know what it could lead you to adopt. Today, I've told you about the history of adoption, what adoption is, and why you should adopt. The 3 children that I spoke to you about earlier were eventually adopted out of the foster care system into a good home with wonderful, loving parents, as they appreciate life much more than most of us do daily. Many children such as these are in need of adoption every single day. If you know of anyone who is having trouble conceiving or anyone who is pregnant and not ready for a child to be born, adoption should be considered for both of these situations.